Thanks, guys. I'm live outside the Carolina Soccer Center for the NCAA Selection Show Watch Party, where in less than 30 minutes, the South Carolina Gamecocks women's soccer team will find out their spot in the NCAA tournament. Thanks, guys. I'm live here at the State Fairgrounds, and I don't know about y'all, but when I think about the fair, I think about those brisk fall temperatures. Now, it's starting to cool down a little bit here in Columbia, but it's still pretty warm during the day. It's currently 79 degrees here at the State Fairgrounds, and later this week, we could still see highs in the upper 80s. We are less than 3 hours away from the South Carolina Gamecocks' home opener against North Alabama. The state of South Carolina residents do not have good things to say about President Trump. We found through a Twitter analysis that 55.9% of South Carolinians have had negative things to say about President Trump and his administration. This comes as a surprise for this state that usually leans a little more towards being Republican. Hey guys, I'm here at Williams-Brice Stadium, and we are just under 2 hours until kickoff for an SEC East showdown between the Florida Gators and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Here at Halloween Express, the most popular costumes this year for kids has been the Disney characters, and for young adults, it's been the It Clown. Details about Cummings' funeral arrangements have not yet been provided, but he will definitely be remembered for his passion for democracy in our country. Reporting live from the newsroom, Huechtker, Carolina News. Thanks, Drew. I'm live here at the Carolina Soccer Complex, where it was just announced that the South Carolina women's soccer team would be a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Thanks, guys. I am live outside of Colonial Life Arena, where we are less than 3 hours away from the South Carolina Gamecocks' home opener against North Alabama. The Gamecocks are led by last season's top returning scorer, A.J. LAWSON, who says he's more prepared for his sophomore season.
It's the excitement. You can't wait to play first game of the season, and it's just all the nerves, all the hard work that you put in during the off season is just about to come and show in front of everyone.
A.J. LAWSON was named to the preseason All-SEC team voted on by coaches. The Gamecocks lost 2 starters early last season in sophomore guard Justin Minaya and rookie guard T.J. Moss. They were also without transfer Jair Bolden, who had to sit out last season due to NCAA transfer rules. Head coach Frank Martin is obviously glad to have these guys back this season. On Monday, he said he expects this team to have a great season right from the start.
If we had approached things this time of year with the same sense of urgency we did once we got the conference play, we would have been in postseason play last year.
The Gamecocks missed the postseason last year, finishing with a 17-16 record on the year. South Carolina's late season run left fans like Joe McLean waiting for their return to Colonial Life Arena tonight.
I know last year we kind of ended the season well, but didn't quite start it well, so that kind of kept the Gamecocks out of things. But I think with the talent they have coming back, they have a lot of potential this year, so I'm excited to see that.
The Gamecocks will tip off here at 7 p.m. tonight against the North Alabama Lions. Madison Thiel will have more for you guys about the upcoming game later on the show. But for now, live from Colonial Life Arena, Huechtker, Carolina News. Every year around this time, we start seeing those Halloween pop-up stores popping up everywhere. Halloween Express in West Columbia has been preparing for today for weeks now, and store manager Pam Taylor says today has been just as busy.
The last 4 days have been crazy in here, but up to then it's just been steady and then today will be most probably really busy till about 5 o'clock, and then we'll most probably die off.
Victoria Raley was shopping for a last-minute costume today and explained why she thinks Halloween stores have become so popular.
Because we have such a wide variety of things available now that people just don't make their costumes anymore. So they go out and buy a pre-made costume or parts of a costume, and they work with it from there.
Whether you got your costume weeks ago or you're doing that last-minute shopping today, every year, certain costumes evolve as the most popular. Here at Halloween Express, the most popular costumes this year for kids has been the Disney characters, and for young adults, it's been the It Clown. According to the National Retail Federation, 18 to 24-year-olds are significantly more likely to dress in costume and attend a party than any other group of people. Carson Gorenflow is an 18-year-old college student in Columbia who explained why he thinks young adults around here are celebrating more than anyone else.
Halloween's always a good time down here, and I think people enjoy it with costumes on. It's a lot better.
Whatever you are dressing up as this year, it's safe to say the Columbia community is prepared to celebrate in style. For Carolina News, I'm Summer Huechtker.
When we're dancing with the angels, the question will be asked, in 2019, what did we do to make sure we kept our democracy intact?
Congressman Elijah Cummings died this morning at Johns Hopkins Hospital due to long-standing health complications. The son of South Carolina sharecroppers, Cummings was the first African American in Maryland state history to be named pro tem. He is remembered for his dedication to civil rights activism as he commonly shared stories of participating in integration demonstrations as young as 11 years old. Americans young and old say Cummings is an inspiration for African Americans and other minorities.
Well, it's basically a science. Once somebody writes the formula, you don't have to recreate it, you just have to implement it. So after he has paved the pathway and then shown that it's possible, you just have to have those people who want to come behind him with the exact same drive.
Cummings served as chairman of the House Oversight Committee and chaired a committee for the Democrats' impeachment inquiry, sending out subpoenas as recent as early October. Cummings' wife, Maya Rockymore Cummings, said in a statement that her husband worked until his last breath because he believed our nation's diversity was our promise, not our problem. Dr. Bobby Donaldson, history professor and leader of the Center of Civil Rights Research at the University of South Carolina, reflected on Cummings' historical impact.
And I think that may be one of the greatest testimonies for Elijah Cummings, is that people who mourn his passing will follow his example and be engaged in their communities, be civically minded, and to use their power for the good of those around them.
Details about Cummings' funeral arrangements have not yet been provided, but he will definitely be remembered for his passion for democracy in our country. Reporting live from the newsroom, Summer Huechtker, Carolina News. Playing college football is a dream for many, and for a select few, it becomes a reality. Kiel Pollard was lucky enough to have this opportunity, and then had to walk away from it. This summer, after a hit in practice, Pollard suffered a neck fracture on his C6 vertebrae that he thought would sideline him 6 to 8 weeks.
I knew something was up when I went for the MRI, and they kept calling me to come back to take more pictures because the doctor said he wanted to see more.
What came next was a life-changing moment, changing his football career forever.
They found that it was a callus on my spinal cord, and it was kind of like blocking up the whole spinal cord. And I wasn't ready for that information.
Pat Casey is a physical therapist who specializes in sports injuries. He said the risk of playing with a spinal cord cyst, like the one Pollard has, is far too dangerous.
You know, worst case scenario for him, it's complete paralysis of arms and limbs, of trunk as well. Your breathing muscles are connected to the nerves that come out of your neck as well.
Coming into the 2019 football season, the South Carolina Gamecocks had high expectations for Kiel Pollard here at Williams-Brice Stadium on Saturdays. Pollard was touted as the #1 tight end for the Gamecocks, and coaches said he was one of the most reliable special teams players. Getting the news that he could no longer play the sport he had loved since he was 3 years old was obviously a tough concept to grasp. And 2 months later, Pollard is still adjusting to his lifestyle not playing football.
Without the support from my family and my friends and just like the faith, I think it'll get better with them. I think it'll get better.
Pollard says another dream of his has always been to be a football coach, and now he's getting that opportunity. He is now a student assistant coach for the Gamecocks, being the coach's right-hand man and doing anything and everything they need. He is still at every practice and every game. While Saturdays in Williams-Brice look a little different now for number 87, some feelings will never change.
I still get the feeling I feel like we're going to lose or win. I still get the butterflies in my stomach.
Pollard will graduate in December with a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies, and he'll go on to graduate school to be a graduate assistant with the football team and seeking a master's in education technology. For Carolina News, I'm Summer Huechtker. A former Columbia police chief has been sentenced to over 2 years in prison. Randy Scott was sentenced yesterday in a Richland County courthouse after pleading guilty to illegally possessing firearms. This was Scott's third arrest in the past 12 months. He served as the Columbia chief of police from 2011 to 2013. ISIS has declared a new leader days after former leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was killed in the U.S. commando raid in Syria. The terrorist group released an audio message announcing their new leader as Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurashi. Caraway Park in West Columbia is officially open and ready for use. This park is special because it is accessible to children of all abilities. The park features swings and an ADA accessible zip line. According to the lawmakers who attended yesterday's ribbon cutting, the goal of the park is for kids of all abilities to play, learn, and grow together. The park is located at 212 Hudson Street in West Columbia.